Greetings, YouTube. During this video, you may hear my cat jumping in and out repeatedly of a cardboard box in the room I'm in. Please ignore those sounds. At the end of World War II, the United States had a collection of officers from our enemies' militaries in custody. Some of these men were charged with crimes against humanity, with torture. And some of these men were charged specifically with waterboarding Allied troops. Now, I don't know how many people out there are unfamiliar with the concept of waterboarding, but I'm going to write it down for you right now so that you may have a grasp of what I'm talking about. Essentially, you put a person on a board so that they can't move. Sometimes you incline the person so that their head is slightly down. You then put a cloth over their face and you pour water on it. The cloth diffuses most of the water, but not all of it. And it helps to seal the nose and mouth completely when wet. This means that the person being waterboarded can't breathe. They are, in essence, drowning. The human drowning response cannot be overcome. You cannot trick a person into not experience it. You cannot train a person into not experiencing. If you start to drown, you will respond, no matter who you are, no matter what. It's just what happens. There's a condition that if a person takes in too much water, you can actually dilute the level of sodium in the blood, and you can kill someone. Occasionally it happens to long-distance runners or the person who's trying to flush their system out of any potential drugs and takes too much water. I've known it to happen to someone that way. And you can get lethargic, you can slip into a coma, you can die just from taking in too much water. Recently, more reports from the CIA have been released thanks to the Freedom of Information Act. And in those reports, details of the torture done to prisoners, to detainees, to suspects has been released. These details explain that the condition I just described of pumping so much water into someone's system that they are in danger of dying happened so frequently that the CIA sought medical advice on how to avoid this. And they were told to use a saline solution. Saline solution having salt in it, sodium, would prevent the person from losing sodium and passing out, going into a coma, or dying. Medical personnel gave advice to the CIA to be more effective torturers. Think about that for a second. Medical personnel. People who have taken the Hippocratic Oath. Hippocratic Oath is do no harm. They told the CIA how to torture people so that they would not die, so that they would continue to suffer. My nation has been morally bankrupt in the past, and I'm sure that my nation shall be morally bankrupt in the future. But frankly, I believe that I am currently living in the nadir of moral bankruptcy. That it can't possibly get lower. I'm probably wrong in there, and I'll be terrified when I find out that I am. But I'm going to have a hard time imagining that I'm wrong. Because I can't fathom, I don't want to fathom, how it could get any worse than the CIA trying to find more effective methods of torturing people without leaving any marks on them. That they have to seek medical personnel who are willing to help them. I fully would endorse the concept of finding every single person involved in this process. Every CIA agent, every single person that actually did the torturing, and every single medical personnel that was involved in this process to be brought up on charges of crimes against humanity. Because that's what they've done. Because it doesn't matter who you are. All human beings have value and worth. And you lower yourself to the basest level when you decide arbitrarily that some people are worth less than others. I'm sickened by this. I've delayed doing this video for a number of days just because I didn't know if I wanted to actually get around to speaking these words. The United States government sickens me. The Bush administration did these crimes, and sadly, the Obama administration hasn't rounded up every single person involved in the process and thrown them into a cell, because that's what we need to do. We need to arrest every single person involved in this, from the lowest level person to the highest level person, and hand them over to The Hague. And then, just maybe, we will begin to have some parity with the rest of the world when it comes to morality. But nothing's going to happen. No one's going to be charged or arrested. No one's going to see any jail time over this. It's all going to be swept under the rug. People are going to move on. And these poor, desperately wounded human beings that we've created are going to have to spend the rest of their life dealing with this. All the while, the people that did it, the torturers, were going to get away scot-free. At this moment, I'm ashamed to be an American. My nation has done something which is unredeemable, unforgivable. And it makes me ill. And I wish it weren't true.